the bullshit from women. I mean, I've got 2 drawers of letters from different girls. You're the best. You're the only one. I could never be with anybody else. And fucking, you know, when the going's not good, they just fucking take off.
Indeed.
You're right. When women try to abuse you and always try to pull the loser card on you to make sure that you're not really a loser.
All right, let me ask you this, because if we want to go back to the old school show, because I see that as like, hey, get back to the old show because he's hurting. See, this
he sounds like he's about to cry, man.
Yeah, but see how you go.
Now
he sounds like he's about to cry, man.
But I'm actually feeling bad for him. This is like, this guy is like really breaking his heart out.
Wow, you sound so empathetic, motherfucker.
I have been
You
crying.
fucking hate men anyway.
With him because everyone's had their heart broken.
Let me tell you something. I want to make sure this is specific because I don't know.
This isn't just a broken heart.
Go-go and stripper, different things, right?
Completely different.
But how about the hatred of men? Are they the same in terms of those?
Yeah.
No, I think strippers have more hatred of men.
Yeah, strippers have more hatred.
You
like
have to.
When I do the more like burlesque dancing, so I might interact
when I'm in a strip club, I hate men.
But it's still
so I can only imagine those strippers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's what I'm saying to you, Chris, and this is why I tried to get a little bit away from like just everybody's problem. I started trying to talk a little more about things in general that might apply to you, because I think we've discussed many times without you having to call in that this drawer full of women that's saying you're the best and you're this and you're that, you got to understand, dude, that we've already covered that in terms of this, in terms of it's your fucking fault.
That's right.
This is what they do. Like I said, I have some fish. I have a tank full of fish. I have some cichlids. Great fish. Every day I come downstairs, right? Those fish.
Chicklets?
Cichlids.
Oh.
So every time I come through downstairs, those motherfuckers swim to the side of the tank and go, yes, we getting ready to eat. That's the nigga that feeds me. And I feed them, and then I try to like maybe put my finger in the water to touch one. They go, ah! There's a nigga trying to touch me.
That's the nature. That's right. So, that's right. So what Patrice is saying is in an indirect way is that women's love is conditional, right? So when the going is good, then they love you. When the going is tough, then they're gone. That's literally, it's conditional. When you are a superior man, the love comes. But the second that you stop being a superior man, well, no more love for you. That's how it goes.
That is what they do. So I have to learn how to coexist with what they are, with what I get out of them.
That's right.
So you have to learn how to get out of what you want out of a woman and let them be them.
That's right, exactly. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content, patreon.com/theheliosblog. I have a section of deleted videos from YouTube. I have a section of RP literature that I read like audiobooks. I have a section of RP scientific articles that I explain, so you can understand my thought process. You can go there, you can subscribe. And you could also drop me a donation like Tom I'm here. Shout outs to him. Okay, let's continue.
Because they are them without maliciousness. They live their life natural. Like Pam coming in, there's no malicious bone in Pam's body. She does what she does. Now, if I allow her to do what she does in my presence, that's my fault.
Literally.
Because it trickles down from you, Chris. They gonna write. Look, my girl on Tuesday says, you always doing fucked up shit. I hate you. On Wednesday, we give a good fuck, and she's like, you fucked me like I was some new girl. I love you so. Are you okay? You need your back, bro. If I paid attention to my happiness based on this fucking loon, how could I be happy?
Literally.
You can't base your happiness, Chris, on fucking girls and their love letters.
Literally.
They're like fish.
It wasn't just the letters. That was my mistake. Was I bought in to the bullshit. The guys get from a very early age. And I believe
indeed that's the BP
idea
condition
that you should give and listen to women like that other tantric incense sniffing motherfucker who's there on the show.
Wow.
I think he's talking about Dante, no?
Must be
Dante.
Must be Dante.
Wait a minute. I gotta ask Chris a question. Did you pick up on anything? There was a lot of shit that was talked about on the show today. Did you pick up on anything that was talked about today on the show? Did you understand the philosophy? What's going on? Did you listen?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm gonna do?
A lot of it can be applied to his situation.
You know what I'm gonna do? We gotta figure this out. We're figuring this out right now. Hey, Chris, don't kill yourself. Keep going with the show, because we're gonna figure this out, man. Thanks for calling. Listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out what the right thing is. Because before, Danny, while he's doodling.
No, I'm listening.
Before, it was a lot of calls that were just, hey man, what's the best way to eat pussy? We know we're feeling it out.
Yeah.
We got too much knowledge between us that too much knowledge between everybody that we will just go, here's how you eat pussy. Damn. Plus, Jeff wouldn't do it. I think that's so.
No, you don't want to devolve to that. You got important shit to say, man. You have stuff to say.
I think the way I eat pussy should be discussed through spiritual.
Well,
oh my God!
What's your pussy eating technique?
With a bib. I put on a bib.
You need a bib if you're doing it right.
I'm fucking neat, bro. I'm gonna get all messed up.
This is once this XM series thing happens and we figure out all this, like if we can get a weekly show, we're gonna figure this out. Cause you gotta understand, I come back 2 months with a lot of anger, with a lot of shit. I just want to talk about everything.
Pent up.
I think once we get a weekly thing, if that ever happens, then we can get into exactly the brand that we're going to get into. Because Jeff is new. Jeff is going to be here from now on whenever we have shows. Jeff is part of the show now. You understand? Hopefully this...
Pamela Page.
This bitch... what's the name? What's the name? Yeah. She'll be part. And, of course, the lovely Jacqueline. Just need Jacqueline or something. So... There's a lot of shit that we're trying to figure out during the show, and I know there's a lot of men that have problems, but you got to understand, dude, every philosophy in here is based on having problems with women. It's not based on here's how you get. I don't give advice on how to pick up girls. I ain't know how to pick up girls. I know how to stay happy. I know that my girls' tears mean my smiles.
Yeah, there's an expression. It's called treat 'em mean to keep 'em keen. That's right. But there's more. The opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference, right? So if she's crying, it means she's emotionally invested. If she's emotionally invested, she's not going anywhere. That's true.
That's what I know. My bitch the other day got a nice cry. You know what I mean? Got a nice cry because she came out. We was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I go, she goes, wow, his wife really rides with him. His wife really backs him. And I go, and she goes, oh yeah, I back you like that too. I said, yeah, you do, sweetie. And then I said, but you know, that nigga got $500 million, so it's kind of easy to back a motherfucker with $500 million. Is that why you think I back you? So the whole world kind of imploded where now she's the one answer bitch. Hey, that was funny, right? Yeah. I go, okay, in my head, fuck you, bitch. Now I'm in me zone. And I let her know she could never hate me more than I hate her. Her hatred is moment to moment like a fish. Mine is real and it'll stay. And it's not vindictive or spiteful. It's just like, fuck you, bitch. Let me get into me zone so I don't have to be one of these guys that say a thing like, every time we try to have fun, you Why would I do that? When I know that's what they do. They don't know how to have fun. She's miserable. So I watch Curb Your Enthusiasm by myself.
That's actually hilarious. Okay, let's continue.
And then she went to take a shower. Then she comes out and she's like, when you coming to bed, what you doing? We did this thing like, what you doing? Right? Hey, what's going? Why are you acting so stink? And I said, bitch, are you trying to get me to be phony with you? Huh? You think we're going to move on? Cause you ready to fucking move on? Cause you went from moment to moment, and now you're happy, bitch.
The shower brought her to her senses, is what happened.
Now
the water hit her.
I didn't curse her out. I just had to talk Hannibal Lecter, treat the bitch like multiple Migs. If you ever seen that show, that is talk this bitch till she die.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, a filibuster does work actually. It does work, which is you just talk until the mood changes. That actually is an effective strategy. All right. An article by Rolo Tomasi. Let's flip the scene a bit. Into bedroom fun hierarchies part 2. Don't wait for the good woman. She doesn't exist. There are women who can make you feel more with their bodies and their souls, but these are the exact women who will turn the knife into you right in front of the crowd. Of course, I expect this, but the knife still cuts. The female loves to play man against man, and if she's in a position to do it, there is no one who will resist. The male, for all his bravado and exploration, is the loyal one, the one who generally feels love. The female is skilled at betrayal and torture and damnation. Never envy a man his lady. Behind it lies a living H-word. And this is Charles Bukowski. For my more optimistic readers, you'll be happy to know I don't entirely agree with Mr. Bukowski's sentiment here. However, Charles gives us a great introduction to the next progression of intersexual hierarchies. While I'm not sure every woman is as skilled at the next in betrayal, torture, and damnation as Charles waxes poetic about, I do believe that his understanding of male nature is not only accurate, but that male nature is actually the source of his equating women with betrayal, torture, and damnation. It's not that women are inherently evil, it's that men's idealize them make them so available to being betrayed, tortured, and damned. If you're at all familiar with Charles Bukowski, you know that he was one of the last true sons of B-words, the unapologetic epitome of gloriously arrogant self-concern and masculine independence. For what he lacked in polish, he made up for in talent and brutal honesty. That could never be acknowledged in the femme-centrism of today. In the mid-60s, he was a feral, instinctively RP man. Charles, for all his musing on women, knew that it was the male nature that facilitated women's damaging of men. The womanists of his generation and today's simply dismiss him as a relic of a M-word era, but his real insight was about man's inner workings. The male, for all his bravado and exploration, is the loyal one, the one who generally feels love. I like to believe that Bukowski was ahead of his time with this. However, I think it's more accurate to presume that due to a constant feminine primary socialization, men have been conditioned to interpret love under feminine pretexts rather than acknowledging men and women approach love from different concepts. In light of these different, often conflicting concepts of male idealistic and female opportunistic love, it's easy to see how a man might find women duplicitous, torturous, and damnable, particularly when his feminine sensitivity training predisposes him to believe women share the same love idealism he's encouraged to believe. The feminine primary model of love is the idealistic fantasy the vast majority of men have been conditioned to presume in a universal model of love. In this fantasy, a woman reciprocates the same idealism he has about how she should feel about him based on his concept of love. That love eventually has to potentially include children, but the fantasy begins for him with the woman's concept of love agreeing with his own love for love's sake approach, rather than the performance-based, opportunistic approach women require of men in order to love them. The best illustration I can apply to this model is found in the very tough lessons taught in the movie Blue Valentine. You can read the synopsis, but the plot of this film graphically outlines the conflict that occurs when a man conflates his idealism for the female primary model of love with women's opportunistic model of love. The idealism is exacerbated by feminine primary conditioning since early childhood, which prepares him to expect girls and women will share in it. When you look at this model objectively, you can't help but see the Disney-esque blue pill promise of a mutually reciprocated love. Men, being the true romantics, predispose themselves to wanting to believe this model is really the only acceptable one. The dispelling of the fantasy this model represents is one of the most difficult aspects of coming to terms with RP awareness. In fact, one of the primary reasons men become hostile to the RP is an inability to imagine any other possible model. Most men dispelling of this fantasy comes after he's reached the happily ever after part of this schema, and he realizes the conditionality his wife places on her terms for loving him. He comes to the realization that women's love model is based upon what he is before who he is. While there is a definitive conditionality placed upon her love, men don't necessarily expect an unconditional love. It's usually at this stage that men are conveniently expected to man up and earn a woman's mutually reciprocated love by adopting the male responsibility aspects of the first conventional model. As Gustavo describes, a man provides, and for all his previous equalist conditioning that made him believe a woman would love him as he loves her, he blamed his inability to achieve this idealistic love on himself for not living up to being a man deserving of the feminine primary model of ideal love. What he's really done is convinced himself into accepting a woman's opportunistic model while retaining the idealism he's been conditioned never to reject, thereby leaving her blameless in her own concept of love. It's hard to consider this model without presuming a woman's manipulative intent of a man, but I may state empathetically that for the better part I believe that most women simply aren't specifically aware of the mechanics behind this hierarchy model. Through any number of ways, women are socialized to presume that their feminine primary position implies that men should necessarily take the life and maturity steps needed to fulfill women's opportunistic approach over the course of their lifetime. We would like to bemoan this as feminine entitlement, and yes, it can be, and is getting very out of hand, but this entitlement and expectation originates in women's opportunistic approach towards love. Men are the romantics pretending to be realists, and women vice versa. The subdominant model. Last we come to a male subdominant model wherein a man, by conditioning and circumstance, expects love from a woman as he would from a mothering dynamic. Often this situation seems to result from an overly enthusiastic belief in absolute gender equality and parallelism, but the underlying motivation is really an abdication of masculinity and, by association, abdication of conventional masculine responsibility. There simply is no presumption of masculine headship prior to or into a long-term relationship. I outlined the origins of this model in Pre-Whipped. These are the men I call pre-whipped, men so thoroughly conditioned, men who've so internalized that conditioning that they mentally prepare themselves for total surrender to the feminine imperative, that they already make the perfect beta provider before they even meet the woman for whom they'll make this sacrifice. These are the house husband arrangements, and the gender is a social construct relationships. While the hope is one of realized egalitarian equalism within the relationship, the psychological struggle eventually becomes one of dominant and submissive gender expectations in the parent. Okay, and one last quote and we'll go back to the video. In an era when hypergamy has been given free reign, it's no longer men's provisioning that dictates her predisposition to want to be a submissive partner. To an increasingly larger degree, women no longer depend upon men for provisioning. Security and emotional support that used to ensure against her innate hypergamous impulses. What's left is a society of women using the satisfaction of hypergamy as their only benchmark for relational gratification. Men with alpha capacity to meet the raw feral demands of women's hypergamy are increasingly rare, and thanks to the incessant progress of feminization are being further pushed to marginalization. The demand for men who meet women's increasingly overestimated sense of hypergamic worth makes the men women could submit to a precious commodity and increases further stress on the modern marketplace. All right, back to the video here.
And because most of the time, she's gonna do something to mess up the good time, not me. I don't.
That's right. Yup. That's because women like to cycle their emotions. So if you feel that things are going perfectly, there's going to be something that causes something to go wrong. That's accurate.
Go, why'd you say that? I don't want. She does it. So I tell her why, and then she goes, well, what's the point then? Implying, why are you even with me? I said, look, I didn't say that, but if you try to think for me, we'll be broke up. So you go ahead and think for me. You think, what are we doing this for? You think for me, go ahead. See if this relationship lasts. I think for this relationship. You emotionalize through it. If I emotionalize through the relationship, then where the fuck we gonna be? I'd rather you be crying because you get what you did that was dumb, then I be miserable.
That's exactly right. Exactly. Again, here's the principle. Okay, he's not explaining it very well, but the idea is this. The idea is, for a girl to be in a relationship with you, she doesn't have to like you. She doesn't have to like you. She has to respect you. So it doesn't matter if she feels good or she feels bad. If the respect is there, then the relationship is there, right? And that's actually why so many girls end up with these guys that they call A-word, they call M-word, they call them, you know, like rude and mean and so bad and he was awful and la la la. Yeah, but you respected him. And, you know, when you ask them, like, how long were you with the guy? They'll be like 5 years, 6 years, you know, like, what's the point? The point is the guy never bent. The guy never broke. He remained himself the whole time, and he had boundaries, and he was respectable, and he had frame, and that's what they respond to. Like, so keep that in mind, guys. It's not about like her being happy 24/7. It's actually about respect. If the respect is gone, the relationship is gone. But she can be unhappy and still stay, because as long as the respect is still there.
Like guys do out there, because they think that's what their existence has to be. And women will come at you with the gay thing. Look, my girl tries to say my friends are gay. Because when she tries to always introduce, I don't know what the bitch is doing. She always tries to, like, be the bitch that informs me or something. Like, she goes, did you hear it was an earthquake in China? And I go, yeah, but I don't want to talk to you about it. So my boy called, you called, somebody else called, and I'm like, he goes, yo, you hear about China? And I go, hold on, let me go make some tea so we can discuss China for hours and hours. Well, I fucking said China. I said, well, your China shit is boring. Talk to your friends about China, bitch, not me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Well, you're probably gay. Yeah, probably so, yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's just an that's just S test, right? The girl is trying to you know, poke the bear because she wants some attention, right? That's the idea.
I just don't want to talk to you, bitch. But that's from here. Why the fuck are women always, instead of trying to understand that we're not crazy, we're just acting a certain way that you have to understand. Like, we have to understand that you have to have children, and the pain. I don't have kids. Why should I give a fuck about that? But I do, because it's visual. You have a period, that shit fucks you up, makes you hormonal, makes you emotional, and I have to understand that. There's things that go on with guys that women don't give a fuck, because we don't bleed.
Right, but more than that, it's not just that. They don't care because it's not their experience, right? Because women are solipsistic, right? They see, like, women's natural mental point of origin is themselves without having to be taught. Whereas for most men, they're taught, no, make women your mental point of origin, not yourself. And of course, if you do, then you'll be miserable your whole life, because men are supposed to be their own mental point of origin, right? So,
with our bullshit. Like, half the time, man cheats. You think motherfuckers want to cheat? I want to see my girl and go, you're the last bitch I'll ever kiss. Not even that. You're the last girl I ever want to kiss,
right?
But that's not the fucking case.
That's right.
Exactly, because it's biology.
They don't understand that, and they don't give a fuck about that.
That's right.
So I gotta make her understand shit, and she's
like women are hypergamous and men are polygamous, right, by nature. So just keep that in mind. Like, and that's just biology. All right. Okay, on to the Reddit post here. So this is from Relationship Advice, posted 3 hours ago. So the guy is 19, the girl is 18. Broke up with my girlfriend because she said I need to ask for consent before kissing her on the lips. Me, 19 male, recently got into my 6th or 7th relationship with an 18-year-old female. I was her first boyfriend, this was her first relationship. We were both really into each other, we connected very well, everything was going amazing. We'd kissed multiple times, things hadn't gone bedroom fun just yet. We'd kiss while dancing, while walking, while doing anything. Things were going like a dream. 3 weeks into our relationship, and at this one party night, we danced and kissed, we had fun. Next day she calls me and asks me to meet her. She brings a friend with her, like she's her bodyguard or something. They tell me that I need to slow down, that I need to ask for consent before kissing her on lips, as it makes her uncomfortable and anxious because she's inexperienced. Kissing anywhere else is okay, hugging is okay, but I need to ask before I kiss on the lips. I'd like to clarify here that I never once forced her to kiss. It was all, we were feeling the moment and we both leaned in to kiss. If she didn't want her, she could have given me some hint and I could have backed off. I was completely taken by surprise. She even brought a friend to talk on her behalf as if she was somehow scared to talk to me about it. I was completely shocked and felt betrayed. I simply told her I can't continue this as I feel betrayed, embarrassed, and shocked. She kind of showed that she doesn't trust me by bringing a friend to talk to me about this. She could have told me that herself and we could have discussed this. This has never happened to me before. Since then, I'm constantly overthinking that maybe I overreacted, maybe I should have given her more time to slowly ease into how relationships work, maybe she brought a friend because she was too shy, or maybe she was too scared. It's just breaking my mind if I did the right thing. I was really into this person, losing her hurts. I don't know what to feel. Basically, she never actually respected you or liked you. She was trying to string you along and not give you what you wanted while taking all of the relationship benefits, right? And then, basically, that was her way of friend zoning you, right? All right, let's see what the top comment is. 517 upwards. Saying something like, I want to kiss you before the first time is within the range of ordinary politeness and caution. It sounds like she's expecting you to ask every time. I've never heard of that before, and I deal with fairly detailed negotiation in relationships on a regular basis. Darned if I know if you made the right decision. She has a right to her feelings and her limits, but also you're not obligated to be in a relationship. I know I'd be weirded out if someone I was dating brought that to tell me something. Oh, I forgot to mention this. At the party, right? He was kissing with the girl. Here's what happened. Her friends didn't like it, right? And the people around didn't like it. So they started to talk, and then they probably called her the S word and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, I'm going too far compared to where all my other friends are going. I have to change my behavior." You see, it's probably something like that. 158 upwards. Honestly, I could have maybe given this time, discussed it with her. Okay, 208 upwards. I'm speculating here, I haven't met her, but this sounds like some kind of big hang-up inside her head that you didn't cause. The longer I think about it, the more I think that breaking up was the right move. She's not able to voice discomfort without help. It's not safe for either of you. 34 upwards. She was basically saying that while to you is like a dream, to her she was having anxiety that she couldn't discuss with you. She needs to work that out before she involves other people. You're fortunate that she told you. It's possible her friend pressured her. She obviously wasn't aware enough of her feelings to bring them up at the moment. I'm glad it was you dating her and not someone else. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to end the video there. Again, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's at patreon.com/theheliosblog. Again, I have deleted videos from YouTube. I have RP literature that I'm going to read like audiobooks, and I have RP scientific articles that I'm going to explain. Also, you could drop me a donation like Tom M here. Link is in the description. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, especially if you took the time to listen till the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. You guys are wonderful, and I will see you next time.